Amun is just is plasma, dancing plasma waves coming down from the sky. Why didn't the Egyptians show him that way? Why did they show him as a humanoid form? Why did they have to anthropomorphize this being? Just show rays coming down. They were certainly capable of doing that. They do it elsewhere. So why not do it here? As if the king is just bathing himself in these keys of life, the shower of keys of life, or baptismal rays of the aurora borealis. Now, I think what they're portraying is that these are actual plasma type beings who come out of a plasma world and are assisting us. This is a model here of the temple at Karnak, where we see many of these incredible scenes of the god Amun. It was continuously built over a period of several thousand years. As we enter the Karnak temple, see at the very bottom of the photo there, you see these rows of sphinxes. They're actually ram-headed sphinxes. These are symbolic of the god Amun. And in between the paws of the ram-headed sphinxes, we see the king, Ramses, who is a son of Amun. Beautiful, beautiful temple to experience, temple at Karnak. Karnak, so majestic. Again, built over a period of several thousand of years. One of the figures who did some of the major building at Karnak was Queen Hatshepsut, including the erecting of these obelisks. She actually erected 4 of these massive 500-ton sun sticks. And at the apex of these sun sticks, we see the queen herself, Hatshepsut, being attuned by Amun, who's sitting on his ascension throne. Again, suggestive that Amun is in fact an actual being who could incarnate on Earth. And in fact, that is literally true in the story of Queen Hatshepsut, a star child who became pharaoh, married a commoner, who discovered the secrets of transfiguration. In her story, she had a brother, Tutmosis, actually Tutmosis III, who was, they both were the son of the king Tutmosis I. And when her father died, her brother her cousin rather, was due to be the king of Egypt. But since he was too young, she was appointed as his regent. Well, Hatshepsut decided that she herself was going to become the new king of Egypt. And so what she did was something very clever, is when she went and built her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari, she told the Egyptian people an absolutely amazing story. Oh, yeah, that's me at Hatshepsut's temple. Sometimes they let me drive the Disneyland cart that takes us from the parking lot where we put the coach up to the temple. Just a side note, I love going to Hatshepsut because that's where we often see the highest number of Egyptian kids, and they go nuts when they see us. They absolutely, these school kids, they love to take their picture with us. It's like they treat us like celebrities over there. It's so much fun to play with these kids when we're at Deir el-Bahari. Anyway, at this temple, Hatshepsut tells this story about her divine birth. This is takes us into the colonnade that tells this birth story of Queen Hatshepsut, where she tells us that her father really wasn't Tutmosis I. Her father was the god Amun. She tells how the god Amun superimposed himself on her father, and that the god Amun actually impregnated her mother. And she goes into this very detailed story about how her light body was crafted by the gods, that she in fact is a star child who was conceived by Amun to become the ruler, the divine ruler of Egypt. She was not just semi-divine, a demigod like other pharaohs. She was a fully divine being incarnate on earth. a star child. The name she chose for herself, Mat Ke Ra, can be read as Mat is the Ka of Ra, which translated the true and beautiful manifestation of the sun's divine life force. A more poetic but still accurate rendition is truth is the soul of the sun. So here is Hatshepsut saying she is a child of Amun, a hybrid being, a star child, and furthermore, she wants us to think of herself as a manifestation of the sun's divine life force. The sun, as we said, is plasma. So here she is telling us that she is a star child, and maybe she knows something about the sun as a plasma life form. This is carried into the story of her vizier, her wizard. That's what the word vizier means, wizard, and her consort. Sentiment was his name, a commoner who became extraordinarily powerful when he became the consort of the queen, who is a king. Based on his tomb, Sentiment discovered the secret of transfiguration, the metamorphosis of flesh and blood into a celestial light form, and built his own stargate in his tomb, complete with a star map that codifies the date 9600 BC, the date that Plato gave for the collapse of Atlantis. What an incredible story of a commoner who grows up, becomes the vizier and architect of the queen. He designed her temple at Deir el-Bahari and literally learns the secret of transfiguration, which are encoded in the walls of his tomb here at Deir el-Bahari, which unfortunately is still off limits to the public. But the entire scenes inside this tomb describe his passageway into the celestial beings, into a celestial being. And what is most shocking of all is that they tell that Sentiment was transfigured into a luminous spirit that the Egyptians called the ox spirit, and that he in fact ascended into the celestial realms. So now, we've come a long way. We've got a little bit further to go, but I'm going to take a very quick 10-minute break. It's the bottom of the hour. I'm going to come back at a quarter till the hour. So in Nashville right now, it's 3:35. I'm going to come back in 10 minutes. I'm going to take you to Abydos, and we're going to take a look at the incredible light body secrets on the temple walls at Abydos. So thank you all for joining me. Look forward to catching up with you just after the break. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Thank you for allowing me to take that quick break. I hope you've enjoyed what we presented so far. It's been quite a journey going from Saqqara to Deir el-Bahari to Hatshepsut story. And now we're going to take a journey to Abydos. Abydos, the gate of the gods. For 3,000 years before there was a Jerusalem or a Mecca, there was Abydos. This was a place where the ancient Egyptians would make pilgrimages to. It was believed that at Judgment Day, when Osiris would return, that he would take the souls of the blessed, of the just, through a portal at Abydos into, into the field or dimension of the blessed. And it was here that the Egyptian king Seti built the temple of Seti I at Abydos, which is what we're looking at here. In the Egyptian chronology, Seti is 2 generations after Akhenaten and Tutankhamun. He is the part of the generals of ancient Egypt who were appointed to restore order after the Akhenaten revolution had spun Egypt into chaos. His temple is in phenomenal condition, and it's one of our favorite places to visit during our tours. It's very often not included in Egyptian tour itineraries because it's off the beaten track. It takes a while to get out there. And once you're there, you're just confronted with just this ancient mystery of immense proportions about how Seti was able to utilize these ancient transfiguration teachings. And I believe he did utilize them because, as a matter of fact, you see something at Seti, the first temple, that you don't see anywhere else in Egypt. And that something is encoded in this scene in one of the chapels in the interior of the temple, where we see Seti kneeling before Isis and Osiris, or rather, excuse me, Osiris and Amun. And in between those gods is this hieroglyph that we see on the right with the obelisk and the two figures and the hatchet symbol of the netter or the gods. This tells us that Seti became a god. A man became a god. He achieved apotheosis. Now, what is extraordinary about this is that his contention, as we see here on the temple walls, that he became a god, is echoed in the story of Seti, a Victorian era woman named Dorothy Eady, who claimed that she was the reincarnation of a priestess of Isis who served King Seti, and in fact, who had an affair with King Seti. And she became impregnated by the king. And rather than disgrace her priestesshood and her king, she committed suicide, breaking King Seti's heart. Beyond that, which is extraordinary, Dorothy Eady, after having a near-death experience, began recalling her life as this priestess of Isis at Abydos, and described to archaeologists the way the temple looked in its original form in 1300 BC, and made significant discoveries at Abydos. But what is even more significant is that she maintains that Seti could phase back into a physical existence, and that they could continue, and did continue, their sexual relationship through his ability to harness the life force he called Sekhem. Pardon me, I didn't realize my phone was going. This is a phenomenal story that you can follow up on in Jonathan Cott's book, The Search for Seti, which tells of this extraordinary reincarnation story. One of the greatest reincarnation stories perhaps ever committed to pen and paper. And gives us a lot of room to think about, to speculate that Seti did in fact achieve this transfiguration that enabled him to phase back and forth between the dimensions, just like the gods could do, or just like we are proposing the gods could do. So it's no mistake or no accident that you will see Seti, as we see him here, his hand on this door handle, opening what could be like some kind of an interdimensional doorway through which he's able to access the divine realm of these plasma beings, or what are evidently plasma beings, perhaps who dwell in a parallel Earth, in a dimension very close to ours, that can be accessed from certain special places on Earth, or by humans who know the secret of how to open that door. These temple scenes, combined with the story of Dorothy Eady, suggest that King Seti was one who knew these secrets of ascension. And all of the scenes at the Temple of Seti at Abydos ultimately refer to his ascension and the secrets of how he did it. It's an exquisite temple. It's in gorgeous condition. And when you visit there, you know you're in a place of immense secret power. One of the fun things we like to do is there's this portal in the ceiling. And we like to get there at the time of day when the sun's rays are coming in. And it's always fun to just stand in those rays and get a picture made. It's really a great, just a great picture moment. This is my wife, Claire, actually on the first visit that she made to the Temple of Seti at Abydos. And again, it's just something we really enjoy doing. This is me. I'm in the beam, sort of my beam me up Scotty moment. Well, what was fun about this last tour back in February of 18 is that this scene was taken by multiple people from different perspectives. One of our guests, Kathy Beckman, took this really extraordinary picture. It was really cool because it shows my face, as you can see, just all lit up like I'm some kind of a plasma being myself. It's fun, right? Like I can visualize myself as a plasma being through this photo. I become one with the sun. I become like the sun, like Amun and like Hatshepsut said. But what was really fantastic about this photo is that what people started to see up above the doorway, can you see this sort of illuminated almost figure emerging from the wall? I'll go back so you can train your eye to it. It's just above the doorway. It's what appears to be a white-robed figure. Well, when we saw that, we had all kinds of fun with speculating about who that could be, what that could be. Is that, in fact, some kind of a white-robed figure that is not on the wall, by the way? It's just a manifestation, perhaps something that has to do with the light at that moment, the camera, or maybe, because people talk about this, that the God beings can emerge through the temple walls in the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid. I've heard people experience that. Light beings coming through the wall, manifesting in photos. You saw that image earlier of what could have been Sekhmet or Ptah coming out of the wall. And now, just for fun conversation's sake, we've got another. And the figure seems to match what we see of other images of white-robed figures at the Temple of Seti or in the tomb of Seti. So let's just, for fun, compare this and just ask, wow, is it possible that maybe Ptah or maybe some other white-robed figure, one of the avatars of Abydos perhaps, came out of the wall temporarily to pay us a visit or just to give us a little bit of fun conversation for our webinar here? I don't know. I just think it's a really cool photo, and it's fun to think that maybe, just maybe, these higher beings were present with us on this particular tour, as they have been elsewhere. The image is similar to what we see in some of these cave paintings that a lot of people get really excited about as evidence of early examples of extraterrestrial beings. Maybe they're always there. Maybe they are in those temple walls. And it's up to us to heighten our sense of perception so that we can actually perceive these beings. Really fun to think about. Okay, so Seti, did he in fact know the secret of human transfiguration? I'm still operating on the premise that he did and continuing my research. And one of the places where we do research on King Seti, of course, is his tomb, which is one of the most incredible tombs of all of them in the Valley of the Kings. It is in pristine condition, and throughout the tomb we see some absolutely stunning depictions of Ptah. Ptah, I'm going to argue, is the initiator of Seti. If Seti learned the secrets of transfiguration, I'm believing, suggesting that he got them from Ptah. What gives me or prompts me to come to that line of thinking is this image here that's actually in the Temple of Seti at Abydos, where we see Seti in the tree of life, in the sycamore tree, kneeling before Ptah. And Ptah is writing the secrets of the hundreds of thousands of years into Seti's palm, while Horus is sitting behind him, also attuning him. I take that pretty literally, that if Seti has the nerve to tell us on his walls that he has become a god, then he might also have had the gumption to show us how this might have happened. And here's that scene where Ptah is actually writing the secrets of ascension, the secrets of the hundreds of thousands of years into the palm of his hand. We see these scenes elsewhere, at Karnak, for example, where Seti has himself portrayed with Ptah, once again, with the secrets of the hundreds of thousands of years, the secrets of ascension, and Seti being led in this procession where he is going to receive that knowledge. We also see another scene at Karnak. I'm going to skip forward here. My apologies. Where we see Seti, once again, kneeling in the sycamore tree. Behind him is the god Thoth, the god of divine magic and alchemy. Something I want you to think about as you're looking at this sycamore tree is that it looks surprisingly or suspiciously like a human brain with its dendrites or its nerves, the neurons, the neural network. And it makes me wonder if, in fact, what this temple depiction is showing us, what we're seeing here at Karnak, is this attunement scene where Seti is having his consciousness attuned or adjusted by Thoth. What Thoth is doing is writing the divine name into that tree. We can think of this as Thoth writing the divine name or reprogramming Seti's consciousness and attuning him for his ascension. As the scene continues, you see on the very far left is Seti kneeling. Thoth has written that name into his consciousness. Now Seti is holding the name. He's kneeling within that tree. The next figure that we see is the cat-headed or lion-headed goddess Sekhmet, who holds also the secret of the hundreds of thousands of years. Seti is kneeling, receiving the secret of the hundreds of thousands of years from Horus. Both of these god beings are offering him the secret of ascension. And we can see that Seti is wearing a very, very peculiar or very powerful looking headpiece. This headpiece is actually the clue that tells us that this is his illumination or ascension ceremony. The name of that headpiece is called the Chesed circlet, the Chesed circlet, which Chesed means luminous. And textual evidence for the term luminous can be found in the pyramid text as well as in later funerary literature, where they denote the radiant appearance of the stellar gods, their plasma beings, and of Thoth and the deceased. This crown, the circlet, appears in conjunction with the transfiguration of Osiris. And here is Seti once again wearing it at Medinet Habu, suggesting to us that his consciousness has been attuned by the gods, and he has now received the secrets of luminosity, of becoming a plasma being like the gods.